What if I told you that the less you do, the more she thinks about you? That silence, not pleading, not chasing, is the loudest thing you can say after heartbreak. Picture this. She leaves. Maybe she gave a reason, maybe she didn't. Maybe it was slow and cold, or maybe it hit you like a truck at 2 a.m. One moment she was yours, and the next, she's a stranger with all your secrets. Now you're sitting there, running every conversation back in your mind, trying to pinpoint where it all cracked. You're tempted to send that text. You're tempted to fight for her, but deep down, you know it wouldn't fix anything. You wouldn't be winning her back. You'd be giving your power away. This is where most men fail. They react, they panic, they drown in what-ifs. But the few, the stoic few, they pull back. They stop explaining. They sit in the discomfort. And that's when everything shifts. This video isn't about bitterness. It's not about games. It's about strategy, about reclaiming the ground you gave away by being too available, too reactive, too emotionally exposed. Stoicism is not being cold. It's being calm. It's looking chaos in the eye and refusing to blink. And when you do that, something wild happens. The same woman who was so sure of leaving starts to question everything. Why is he so quiet? Why hasn't he reached out? Has he moved on? Is he better without me? You want her to regret it. Then become the version of yourself that doesn't need her to. Become the man who doesn't flinch, who doesn't chase, who doesn't beg. That's where the obsession starts. Not when you're chasing her, but when she has to chase the version of you she thought she'd never lose. This story, it's not just a rebound tale. It's a resurrection. A man stripped of what he thought was love, only to realize he was the prize all along. If you're done trying to prove your worth to someone who walked away, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I release what I cannot control. Now let's begin. Number 1. Silence is power. When she walks away, when the connection fades, your first instinct is to fix it, to speak, to reach out, to justify. You start rehearsing texts in your head. You scroll through old messages, looking for clues. Your emotions want relief, and they whisper, "Just say something, maybe she'll come back." But here's the harsh truth. Every time you reach out after she's pulled away, you're confirming something she already believes, that she has control. This is where most men lose themselves. They think their words will change her mind, that if they say the right thing, show how much they care, she'll come running back. But it doesn't work that way, because attraction doesn't respond to pressure, it responds to space. Silence is your reset button. It's your declaration that you are no longer available for confusion, for disrespect, or for emotional crumbs. Stoicism teaches us to control only what we can. And what can you control in this moment? Your voice, your response, your presence, or your absence. Silence isn't passive, it's active strength. It's refusing to participate in chaos. It's saying, if you're unsure about me, let me make it easier. I won't be in your way. And here's where dark psychology kicks in. People don't obsess over what's obvious. They obsess over what's missing. Your silence becomes the unanswered question she didn't prepare for. Suddenly, it's not you who's uncertain, it's her. She starts replaying your last interaction. She checks if you've viewed her story. She wonders why you're so quiet. She notices your absence like a wound, because silence isn't emptiness. It's a mirror. And it forces her to face what she walked away from. This is how you shift the dynamic. You stop explaining your value, and you start letting your absence prove it. You become the man who doesn't chase, but who commands attention by being still, steady, unbothered. And when you can sit in that silence without flinching, without folding, you level up. Because you're no longer playing her game. You're building your own. If you're done trying to explain your worth to someone who stopped listening, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My silence speaks louder than begging. Number 2. Attention is currency. Your attention is the most valuable thing you own, and she knew that. Every time you looked at her phone for a reply, every time you paused your life to think about her, every time you made her the center of your emotional world, you were giving away gold. But here's what Stoicism and dark psychology both agree on. Whatever you constantly give attention to, you empower. And when you remove that attention, you create scarcity. You have to understand, what you focus on grows. If you keep pouring your energy into a woman who left, you're feeding the past. You're feeding the version of you that was dependent on her approval to feel whole. But when you pull that energy back, when you stop stalking her social media, stop daydreaming about what could have been, stop hoping she reaches out, you start feeding yourself. You redirect the currency of attention inward. That's when the shift begins. She doesn't feel your presence in her orbit anymore. She doesn't feel like she's the center of your world. And that emptiness, that absence, it hits hard because your attention used to be a drug. And like any addict, once it's gone, withdrawal kicks in. She starts to wonder if you've replaced her. She questions her decision. She checks to see if you're watching, and when you're not, that silence becomes pressure. Stoics understood this before psychology ever caught up. He who controls his attention controls his emotions. When you become intentional about what and who gets your energy, you stop being pulled around by other people's decisions. She wanted distance? Cool. Now she gets to experience life without your attention, without your texts, your check-ins, your effort. Instead of asking why she walked away, ask yourself why you gave so much of your focus to someone who didn't earn it. Then lock in. Build yourself. Read, train, grow, grind. Put all the energy you were wasting on her into something that makes your future self proud. Because here's the truth. When you stop giving her your attention, you stop feeding her ego. And that's when she starts to feel your absence as a loss, not a choice. If you're done funding her ego with your energy, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I protect my energy like gold. Number 3. Emotional control triggers obsession. She expected a reaction. She expected you to spiral, to get emotional, to try to convince her. That's what most men do. They break down. They let their emotions bleed out in texts, in voice notes, in long calls that lead nowhere. But not you, not anymore. Because when you master your emotions, you become a mystery. And mystery is magnetic. Stoicism isn't about pretending you don't feel. It's about feeling everything and choosing not to be ruled by it. You can feel the pain, but you don't show it. You don't post about it. You don't vent to mutual friends. You hold it in, not out of pride, but out of principle. You're not cold, you're composed. And in a world where everyone overshares, your emotional discipline stands out like a lightning bolt in the dark. Now here's the dark psychology. People crave emotional validation. When they can't read you, they get uncomfortable. And when a woman suddenly can't read you, can't tell if you're hurt or angry or indifferent, it creates a storm inside her. That uncertainty eats away at her certainty. Was he faking it? Did he really care? Why isn't he reacting? Why does he seem fine? Because here's the twist. When you don't chase, when you don't react, when you don't fall apart in front of her, she has to start asking herself what she lost. And that question, when it starts echoing in her mind, leads to obsession. You become an open loop, a chapter she never finished, a man she thought she understood, who's now out of reach. Emotional control is rare, and what's rare becomes valuable. So while she's out there waiting for the reaction that never comes, you're becoming stronger, more centered, more silent. And that composure, that stillness, it flips the dynamic. Because obsession doesn't start when she sees you crying. It starts when she wonders why you're not. If you're done letting your emotions be your weakness instead of your weapon, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. Calm is my power. Number 4, the law of scarcity. The more available you are, the less valuable you become. It's brutal, but it's real. Humans chase what they feel they can't easily have. The moment she senses that you're always around, always ready to respond, always emotionally accessible, she stops seeing you as a prize. You become predictable, familiar, and in her mind, familiarity becomes forgettable. But when you pull back, fully, completely, something changes. She notices the gap. Your absence starts echoing louder than any message you could have sent. That's the law of scarcity. What's rare commands attention. When your energy, your presence, your time become limited, they also become desirable. People want what they think they can't access. And when she can't access you anymore, her perception of your value increases. Stoics live by this truth. Don't overextend yourself. Don't be overly available to those who haven't earned it. When you say less, show less, give less, you force the world to come to you. That's not arrogance. That's discipline. That's knowing your worth and protecting it. A high-value man doesn't fight to stay in someone's life. He walks if he's not appreciated, and that walk-away energy is devastating. Here's where dark psychology leans in. People confuse withdrawal with power. When you go quiet and vanish from her reach, it triggers fear, not because she misses your jokes or your face, but because she no longer controls the outcome. You disrupt her rhythm, and that disruption causes tension in her mind. Why isn't he trying? Did he replace me? Is he over me? That tension grows. It nags at her, because now she realizes she doesn't have access to what she thought she owned. Scarcity forces people to reevaluate what they took for granted. When you stop giving so much, she starts feeling the weight of everything you once provided. Your stability, your attention, your time. And without it, the void grows. Fast. If you're done being too available to people who don't value you, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I make my presence a privilege. Number 5. Mystery disrupts her comfort. Predictability kills attraction. If she knows exactly what you're going to say, how you'll react, when you'll reach out, she stops wondering. And when she stops wondering, she stops caring. Comfort is the enemy of desire. But mystery? Mystery is gasoline on the fire of curiosity. When you pull back and stop explaining yourself, you become a question mark. You stop giving her the emotional roadmaps she once relied on. She can't tell what you're thinking. She doesn't know if you're hurting or healing. She doesn't know if you're angry or unbothered. And that uncertainty, it shatters her comfort zone, because now, for the first time, she's not in control of the narrative. Stoicism teaches that you owe no one your inner world. Not everyone deserves access to your thoughts, your intentions, or your next move. When you live with restraint, when you speak only when it's meaningful, when you act without explaining, you make your energy unpredictable, and unpredictable energy is intoxicating. Now let's talk dark psychology. The brain hates open loops. It craves closure, predictability, and resolution. So when you vanish from her radar and stop giving her emotional cues, her brain starts filling in the blanks. She imagines you with someone else. She wonders if you're thriving. She replays the last things you said. Her mind becomes a loop of what-ifs. And that loop? That's how obsession begins. You don't need to be louder. You need to be harder to read. You need to create just enough distance, just enough ambiguity, that she's forced to sit with her own questions. You become the unknown, and the unknown always draws more attention than the familiar. Stop being the man who's easy to figure out. Be the one who leaves her wondering every single day. If you're done being predictable, if you're ready to become the mystery she never solved, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I move in silence, never desperation. Number 6. Self-discipline over self-pity. Heartbreak will tempt you to self-destruct. You'll want to drink, to scroll, to numb the pain with distractions. You'll feel sorry for yourself. You'll wonder why she didn't choose you. But that road leads nowhere. It's a trap, because while you're sitting in your pain, she's not thinking about you. She's living her life. And if you're not careful, you'll waste months, maybe years, waiting for closure that's never coming. This is where the Stoic separates himself. He doesn't escape the pain. He uses it. He takes all that heartbreak and turns it into fuel. He wakes up earlier. He trains harder. He studies more. He builds. He channels the chaos into something sharp. Pain either breaks you or builds you, and that choice is yours. Self-discipline is how you tell your emotions, you don't run this. You don't spiral. You don't beg. You don't reach out hoping she throws you a breadcrumb. You get quiet. You get focused. And slowly, piece by piece, you start stacking wins. You fix your posture, your body, your finances, your routine. You stop trying to win her back and start winning your life back. Here's the dark psychology behind this shift. Growth is the biggest mind game you can play. Because while she expects you to be shattered, broken, spiraling, you're leveling up. And when she sees that, when she sees you thriving, not faking, not flexing, but really evolving, that hits different. That's when regret shows up. Because she didn't just lose the man you were, she lost the man you became because of her absence. And no text, no quote, no cryptic post will do what silence and self-discipline can. It's your progress that speaks the loudest. The way you glow up without a single word. The way you outgrow the pain instead of sitting in it. So next time you feel weak, don't reach for her. Reach for your next level. Because every time you choose growth over grief, you step further into power. If you're done feeling sorry for yourself and you're ready to rebuild with precision, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I turn pain into progress. Number 7. Let her feel the weight of absence. Here's the truth no one wants to admit. She can't miss you if you never truly leave. As long as you're lurking, watching her stories, liking her posts, keeping the connection half alive, she doesn't feel your absence. She feels your desperation. And desperation never made anyone valuable. If you want her to regret losing you, you have to disappear completely. Stop doing just enough to stay on her radar. That breadcrumb energy does nothing but feed her ego and starve your self-worth. The man who walks away without slamming the door, without a scene, without a goodbye, that man haunts her more than the one begging at her feet. Because that man didn't collapse, he vanished, he left space. And in that space, she's forced to face what she chose to walk away from. Stoicism teaches us detachment, not because we don't care, but because we know what's meant for us will never require us to beg. You don't punish her with silence, you give yourself clarity. Distance lets you see her without the fog of infatuation, and it lets her feel what life is like without you, a man who listened, gave, protected, showed up. Now that he's gone, the silence is deafening. Dark psychology works off contrast. When someone goes from constant access to complete disconnection, it causes internal disruption. She starts noticing the things you did that no one else does. She hears your voice in moments of quiet. She sees your absence in places you used to show up. And the kicker? She doesn't know if you're coming back. Don't check in. Don't hint. Don't watch from the sidelines. Disappear like you never existed. And let that mystery do what no message ever could. Because when a woman realizes a man truly walked away, that's when her mind starts reaching back. If you're done hovering in her shadow and you're ready to become the void she can't ignore, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My absence teaches more than my presence ever could. Number 8. Never try to win her back. Let this sink in. If you're trying to win her back, you've already lost yourself. The second you start strategizing how to re-enter her life, you put her on a pedestal and put yourself in a cage. You start compromising, overanalyzing, bending, twisting, trying to fit the version of you she might take back. That's not power. That's slavery to the idea of who you were when she left. A Stoic doesn't chase someone who chose to walk away. He respects their decision, even if it hurts, because his worth isn't up for debate. You don't try to win back someone who couldn't see your value the first time. You don't become more emotionally accessible, more accommodating, more understanding, hoping that this time she'll stay. Because when your worth is up for negotiation, attraction dies. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You can't convince someone to feel what they don't feel. But you can become the man they can't stop thinking about, by not trying to convince them of anything. Detachment is deadly attractive. When she realizes you're no longer fighting for a seat at her table, that you've built your own, that energy rattles her. Dark psychology proves this. Desire is triggered when we feel we're losing something that can't be replaced. But that only happens when you walk away like you mean it. No half measures, no secret hopes, just full, calm detachment. When she looks back and sees a man who didn't chase, didn't beg, didn't fall apart, that image sticks. That's the version she replays at night. That's the version she starts to crave. You want revenge? Forget getting her back. Get back to yourself. Because no outcome is more powerful than living in such a way that even if she returned, you'd have to think twice. If you're done trying to win back what should have fought to keep you, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I never chase what chooses to leave. Number 9. Leveling up is the real revenge. You don't need to post about your comeback. You become your comeback. While she's scrolling, looking for signs of weakness, what she sees instead is a man transformed. No sob stories, no passive-aggressive captions, just silence and results. That's what hits hardest. When you level up, you do it for you. Not to prove her wrong, but to prove yourself right. That's what Stoicism is about. Not external validation, not getting even, just inner mastery. It's waking up earlier, eating cleaner, building discipline, not drama. While she's out there watching you with curiosity, you're outgrowing the version of you that even needed her in the first place. See, she thought you'd wait, thought you'd pause your life in case she ever circled back. But you didn't. You flipped the script. You started becoming the man she hoped you'd become when she was with you. But now she has no access to him. And that's what stings. You weren't faking it. You were just unfinished. Here's the dark psychology kicker. People feel the strongest regret when they lose someone who didn't just move on, but leveled up. Because it means they weren't just replaceable. They were irrelevant to your growth. And that destroys the ego. So don't text her when you hit your goals. Don't post a "watch me win" story. Let your glow up speak in silence. Let your name come up in rooms she can't enter. Let her hear about the man you became from people she didn't expect. That's real revenge. That's legacy. If you're done trying to get even and ready to evolve beyond recognition, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My growth makes noise without words. Number 10. You were the prize all along. Here's the final truth, the one it takes most men years to realize. It was never about getting her back. It was about getting you back, because somewhere along the way, you forgot who you were. You made her the prize. You placed your peace in her hands. You believed her leaving was a reflection of your worth. But it wasn't. It was a reflection of her inability to see it. Stoicism isn't just about detachment. It's about self-possession. About being so centered in who you are that no one can take it away from you. Not rejection, not betrayal, not silence. You don't chase people who walk away. You thank them for showing you where you still needed to heal, grow, elevate. And then you rise, alone if necessary, stronger because of it. You were never meant to prove yourself. You were meant to remember yourself. The prize isn't the woman, the validation, the second chance. The prize is becoming the kind of man who doesn't need any of it to feel complete. That's the man she regrets losing. That's the man everyone underestimates until he stops giving his energy away and starts moving like a king again. Here's the deepest layer of dark psychology. The second you fully accept that you're the prize, everything shifts. You stop chasing, you stop waiting, and the more indifferent you become to getting her back, the more power you radiate. You become unforgettable not because you begged, but because you walked away and built something greater. She'll remember the man who loved her, but she'll obsess over the man who found his worth and never looked back. If you're done making other people your source of value, and you're ready to walk like the prize you've always been, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I was the prize the whole time. And that's the Stoic way. Stay silent, stay sharp, stay sacred. This is Stoic Blessing.